Subscribe to our channel.
Welcome everybody to the Analyst Desk. Let's get the subscribble out of the way.
Subscribe to our channel.
It is I, the self-proclaimed sports analyst, and we have another action-packed show. And of course, I could not do this show without my lovely co-host. So let's introduce him, Mr. More for your money.
Woo!
Mr. Lade Dashing Dashko.
What's going on, everybody?
He's a goat. He's hydrated. He's ready to rock. It's Adam.
Look out.
Yes, brother. Very hydrated, brother.
Let's go,
Who's
everyone. It is a random Thursday, but we in the sports world have so much to talk about. So we're going to talk about some CFO free agency, and Dan, Adam, and I are going to cry while Lane makes fun of us. We are going to talk about some NHL moves, NBA deadline, roster freeze, and we're going to have to talk about the Gavin McKenna situation. So buckle up, as Dan likes to say, and let's get right into this. I think we may as well start off with the Gavin McKenna situation. Now, I do want to quickly...
It doesn't start.
That none of us are lawyers. None of us were there. I don't think Dan was there. Dan, do you go to Penn State?
No, but I've been in all kinds of crazy places, so you never know.
So,
Good point.
congrats, Dan. But so as everyone knows, Gavin McKenna is facing charges for, we'll just call it basically what it is. It was a bar fight.
Yeah.
People were getting in his face about his mother from what the allegations have been hearing back and forth.
Well,
Thanks.
it was
Shout
a
out
bar
to
right
my
outside
class.
of a bar.
Shout out to my class from Seneca from sports marketing. I had that information. Never shout out to Nico for telling me that. So thank you, Mr. Nico Bellic.
Dan just loves to
Nico
shout out.
Bellic.
I just call him Nico Bellic because,
Let's go bowling.
Yeah.
But
Let's go bowling, Roman.
obviously, it's not a good situation in Gavin McKenna, but I want to say the same
I was
thing
like, you know the
about
guy
a
from
lot of things that when things like this come out. Let's not rush to any conclusion until all the facts are out, right?
Yes, sir.
And I've seen people saying, "Oh, he's going to get 20 years in prison." I highly doubt he's going to get 20 years in prison for a bar fight.
That's not going to happen.
Outside of the bar, but basically a bar fight.
Vancouver was jail is better.
Like it's one of those things, right? It's certainly a bad situation.
Around, but oh my goodness.
And I can even sympathize on both parties. I mean, this is what happens when people underage go drinking, right? Let's just be honest. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say that no one under the age of 19 ever touches the devil's liquid, because that clearly
The other
does
dude was
happen.
21. The other dude was 21, so it's not like he was underage. He was just a drunk idiot.
Yeah. Yeah, I
The
mean,
usual drunk idiots you see out on the streets out in college. Like he's an
Yeah, exactly.
overage. But like when there's a 3-year difference between people, I'm not saying what Gavin McKenna did. Like Jacob said, like I sympathize with what the situation in which it happened. It's a suckish situation. I will say, despite what happened, like given I was seeing reports saying that Gavin McKenna like continuously punched the dude when he stayed down. It's now being reported it was only 2 punches. So like that could only be a good thing, I would think, for McKenna in that situation. The situation is not great at all for him, of course. But given some things I have seen, I could understand so far why what happened. Like I can understand why it happened. I also want to point out he is 18. He is a kid. He made, honestly, a pretty stupid mistake in a very public setting.
Yeah.
The type of course, in the situation he's in, given how high profile he is, it's not something that's great. But he isn't the only player who's gone into bad situations before. I remind you, Patrick Kane with the cab driver, maybe not the same situation. That's probably even worse, given Patrick Kane was an adult when that happened.
Yeah.
But like, there's that situation. Austin Matthews making a humongous mistake in Arizona a couple years ago. Not the same, of course, not the same situation.
Yeah.
But it's like, it's another dumb mistake in which a player has made where it's not, I don't think it's exactly the end of the world for the kid. Will this hurt his draft stock? I think it will, honestly. Like, I don't think it can't. And we've seen this stuff before, but that doesn't.
Draft pick, 100%.
But it's very honestly, like, you never know what the NHL is going to do. Because the NHL is a strange league. But, like, you got to kind of hope that the way things are being reported is the way things went for him. If you want to see the kid succeed, but it's not amazing for the kid.
Sorry, Dan, go ahead.
That's okay. Just to add to Adam's point, well, I was talking about this with Jacob off the air, of course, and I reminded him it's kind of like for Jumbo Joe's situation in St. Thomas, right? Like when Jumbo Joe was drafted into Boston, he was younger in his NHL career, and he got into a bar fight, and yeah, people talked about it, but it didn't ruin his career by any means. Now, of course, it's different now because, like Jacob pointed out, we don't have the power of social media to get things out the way we do now. Right? I think Gavin McKenna will still be drafted very high because the NHL has a tendency of not to care about off-ice situations. They care about what the performance is.
That's a good point.
But I don't think he's going to be first overall pick. I think if you minus for bar fight, I think Stenberg is the better player. But Mr. Dasko's got his finger up here. So he has to say.
Stenberg also played with adults, so of course, yes. I think that helps his situation. But I do think both are wonderful players.
100%.
Stenberg's awesome though. Stenberg was amazing at the juniors. Jeez.
100%.
Well, I have a gas or ass about this whole situation.
Whoa.
I have a lot of I'm gonna say something spicy. I got a lot of hot takes tonight, boys.
Lane, it can't be too spicy.
Give me out my water here. I might have some Frank hot sauce going on.
I was gonna say, if it's too spicy, Dan will get a tummy ache. Or is it ass?
I don't think a lot of people are going to like my takes tonight, but I don't care. They're going to be noteworthy. They're going to be interesting. Gas or ass? This whole Gavin McKenna situation is going to make Canadian players under the age of 18 think twice about leaving the Canadian program to go play college for money. Because
I like it.
Because
so ass.
Why?
I'm gas. I'm gassed. I'm
with why. Not every single 18-year-old is going to be, and not to sound awful, but going to be irresponsible and make bad choices. Right? I mean, no disrespect to McKenna, and we don't know the whole situation, but he decided to go underage drinking with his mother. It's just a weird situation. And
I have a point. Wait, Jacob, before you continue, I do want to say very quickly, Penn State tried to avoid this situation. The hockey team tried to avoid it. They were given wristbands that apparently Gavin McKenna took off, giving an 18-year-old a wristband inside of a bar. Incredibly dumb because that can easily be taken off.
Well, at least they tried.
Idea. They tried to prevent him from.
That's interesting. I didn't know that.
But his mother being there should have prevented him from drinking in the first
place. Well, that's kind of what
I've also seen. Yeah, I've also seen tons of people say, "Well, he's over the age in Canada." I'm like, no, he's not. 19 is the legal drinking age in Canada. He's an adult, technically, but
technically, yeah,
a dumb mistake. He got drunk when he shouldn't have. I would assume that the bartenders knew who he was and still provided him alcohol, which is super illegal. They knew who he was.
That's a whole other conversation. Is this more on
what they did there?
Is this on the school and is this on the bar? But Lane, the reason why I'm saying ass is because money talks, right? And Gavin McKenna made $750,000 going to Penn State this year.
Also played in NCAA is a viable route to play.
And
sorry, Jake.
I also just feel like at the end of the day, I'm going to take this as a prime example. No, I'm going to take this as a prime example. Let's say Dan drives his car and gets arrested because he decided to go over 50 over the speed limit. Does that mean as his brother, I shouldn't drive anymore because I might do something stupid like he did? right? And again, I'm not putting all the blame on McKenna. I think it's on the university. I think it's on the bar. I even think it's on the other gentleman who was drunk saying some pretty bad things about his mother. Like, it was a bad situation all around, but I don't think this one-off is going to necessarily make players not want to go. Will their parents want them to go? That might be a whole other conversation.
That's a different situation, but yeah.
But
I think the player, if I'm looking at it, if I can turn back the clock 12 years ago, good Lord, and think about when I was 18, and if I was offered either $750,000 or $10 and a crappy high school education to play in Canada, I'm going to play in the States.
Okay,
and that's just kind of what it comes down to for me.
But Lane,
I never got to explain something.
But wait. If you're going to explain why you said your opinion,
yeah,
I think we should all explain. But me, Lane, and Dan should also. We should say it before you say your reason why you said this. I think that's fair.
That's fair.
I said ass because this is one player who made, again, a humongous mistake. When we've seen players like, well, one example is Macklin Celebrity, who grew his draft stock by going to the United States. The NCAA is a more viable route for players, because they can get paid earlier, more money than their stipend that they get in the CHL currently. So that's a nice bonus for them. But it's also a free education, a free college, free college. They get free college education. Thank you, Jacob. Words are tough for me today, apparently.
Words are hard.
A free college education while getting to play top-level hockey. And I think it's just the benefits for them is higher than it is maybe in the CHL. Like, the CHL, great league. But I think the NCAA, and it's been proven by, like, some players like Jack Eichel and Macklin Celebrity, Will Smith. Cole Eisman's not up yet. Snuggard, and a couple other guys. Like, there have been multiple players where it's shown that going the NCAA route can very much help you. Now, there's been players here in Canada who have Alexei Lafreniere, Quinton Byfield. They've all struggled coming out of the CHL, the NHL. Now, that's just not everybody, of course, because there's the Sidney Crosbys, there's the Corey Perry, there's Max Domi for a little bit of his career, Mitch Marner. There have been players that have gone, or Patrick Kane even, you could say, former MVP, 3-time Stanley Cup winner, that have shown success by going to the Canadian route. But like Porter Martone is having success, Michigan State. Like, there have been players that it's shown. Now, parents would probably not want their players going, given this situation, I would think. Some parents may think twice about allowing their kids to go. But of course, this is one situation. I do think the NCAA is, though, becoming more of a viable route than the CHL is at times now. I think that's going to be an issue someday in the CHL. But I don't see any reason why players would not want to go.
What do you think, Mr. Morefor? And then Lane can explain his side to it.
Well, I'm not going to say much here. I totally agree with Lane. I think in terms of this, you got to look at long-term benefits over short-term benefits. I get you're going to get your fancy education. I get you're going to get a couple more dollars. But the CHL is the closest thing to the NHL caliber as a league that you're going to get. So it's going to compare you to be an adult. It's going to prepare you to play in front of a big audience. It's going to prepare you to play on big TV deals, right? We see this over time in the World Juniors. Technically speaking, the players who have played in the CHL do better in World Juniors than the NCAA. Why? It's a bigger stage. They're used to it. But go ahead, Mr. Daskell. Let's see if you're kind of the same logic I'm in. Maybe you got another reason.
So the biggest reason why I really bring this up, and maybe this will change, and I'm not saying that this can never change. I'm just saying, but like similar to what Dan was kind of saying, the big reason why I brought this up is because under Hockey Canada, you are like watched like a hawk, right?
Yeah.
And you're on these teams like London, Windsor, Sarnia,
Barrie.
Barrie. These guys don't even let you leave the room without them it's like they have an ankle monitor on you at every second. They know what you're doing, where you're doing. It's run like an old hockey program. And I get like maybe that's not the traditional way that these players want more freedom. But when they're going to these NCAA, they're not treating them like they're like these elite talents that they're watching what they're eating and they're watching what they're drinking and they're watching what they're doing every 5 seconds and making sure that they're drinking their water every 5 minutes and making sure that they're taking their daily nutritional pills and making sure that they're on these practicing 24/7 to be that generational talent. The NCAA has so much other things going on. When you go to a Penn State and a UCLA, they're not focused on just Gavin McKenna because they got other athletes in other sports. They got other things to do than watch Gavin McKenna and what he's doing. But under the hockey general, especially in Canada, when Gavin McKenna's here, he's going to get that treatment where he's going to have an agent. He's going to have a team representative texting him every 5 minutes. Hey, what are you doing right now? Hey, are you doing the things you're supposed to do? And maybe this isn't going to happen for everybody. And maybe this is a Penn State thing. Maybe they got to redo something. I'm not just saying it's one school. Maybe it'll change over time. But as of right now, we just had a kid who went from a generational hockey player who was supposed to be just as good as Connor McDavid.
Yeah,
just as good as that's the report that we've been hearing for you. We've been hearing about this kid since he was 12 years old, and how good this kid is, how generational is, and how elite he is. And he's supposed to be on that Connor Bedard, Connor McDavid, Nathan McKinnon level type player. And now he's getting in fights. Who knows if it gets so bad, he may not even be eligible for the draft this year. They may have to remove him from the draft completely and move him to next year.
Depending how the charges go, right? It could happen.
We don't know, but maybe Hockey Canada has to step in and be like, "You're not eligible for the draft, but see you next year."
Hopefully, you have to get a lawyer.
But I'm just saying, like, it just sucks to see this kid who had all this hype, all this talent, and now he's like, now he might be going to jail. It's a sad situation.
Yeah, I know it is.
It is a sad situation, but.
Is this better? I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, it's much better.
Okay, sorry. I don't know what's going on.
Okay. I'm not going to name names. I'm not going to name teams. This has happened in the CHL plenty of times. The only difference is social media wasn't around to spread it across the whole world. Number two.
Hockey Canada is like the mob. They can cover things up quick.
Number two. Do people really trust Hockey Canada either?
Yeah.
No.
Just hear me out, because
I know there's been
we're not going to get into the legalities of who was innocent and all this, and and I'm not going to even get into the situation. But Hockey Canada is also known for a lot of BS, and I think it's tough to necessarily say every player is going to question going over to the States because of one bad situation, when there's been a lot of players who have gone over there. And Dan, I don't fully agree with you by saying the CHL is a higher competition than the NCAA anymore. I think that's a thing of the past. The Frozen Four is phenomenal. And
no, I didn't say it's higher competition. I say it gets more views. Like,
doesn't get any worse. I hope things get worked out. Maybe as more details come to light, the picture will become clearer. Right now, the picture is still very muddy. It's kind of like if I needed glasses and I wasn't wearing my glasses. I can't see everything that's going on here just yet. But it does remind me of when you think of a prime example I can think of is when Chad Kelly had those incidents in college, and he went from being a potential high pick to becoming Mr. Irrelevant to bouncing out of the NFL. Now, I'm not saying that's going to happen to Gavin McKenna, but he better play his cards right over the next, I would say, 6-7 months to figure out what he's going to be doing in this situation, because it's a situation that's bad. I mean, obviously, and I hope people on both sides, can work out exactly what happened. But we need to get to some comments here. We've had a couple.
Some comments are coming in, so thank you, everyone.
Key, I'm sorry you're not feeling well.
That sucks.
But you know what? You are right. You know what? We are better than chicken noodle soup. The analyst.
We're not sponsored by chicken noodle soup, so Frank's wearing hot sauce yet, but we could be.
So, put this into perspective. You're feeling well. You're feeling unwell. The doctor says you need medication. You know what you need? Your daily dose of the analyst desk. That's what you need. And yeah, hey, your Edmonton Elks are looking a lot better of late. with what some of the moves they're doing. And hey, Adam, you're being apologized to in the comments.
It is okay, Key. I cried a little bit, but it's all right. I'll get over it.
I don't remember what happened.
Hey,
I don't remember
fish.
either. To be perfectly fair, I don't remember either.
Jarvis
I hate
replacing
it.
Point.
I hate it. I love Jarvis, but I do not like this at all.
Okay, so
Really? Why?
So why don't we dive into
Thank
this?
you
then?
for asking.
Let
me go into it. Wait. Dan asked me why. I
Yeah.
should explain why.
Oh,
I like Jarvis. Don't get me wrong. I had Jarvis on my team.
Yes.
I would think that Canada would like to also replace the two other mistakes they made in not selecting two other players on their team that they should have, which was Mark Scheifele, still not on Team Canada, despite having a phenomenal season. So, Dan, automatically, you're calling me out for no reason. And then Connor Bedard, who I thought would go and replace Point, because Point and Bedard basically play very similar styles. Very similar. Point is probably faster than Bedard, but Bedard has a lethal shot. Point has a pretty lethal shot.
Good point.
Playmakers. Like, I don't understand why when you're trying to replace Brady and Point, you don't bring a Connor Bedard or you don't bring a Mark Scheifele. Like, I fully do not understand. Even though I love Jarvis, I love that Jarvis gets the chance to go play at the Olympics because I think he deserves it, but not over Bedard or Scheifele, in my opinion.
That's a great point.
They brought Bennett in, which they should have brought Bennett originally.
100%.
So why are you not bringing in one of probably the second or third best young player in the league behind Celebrini or Leo Carlson? Leo Carlson and Bedard, whatever, how you want to order those two. But, like, I don't understand it. Despite liking Seth Jarvis, I don't understand the decision, because I would think those two are ahead of Jarvis or even Wyatt Johnson, who I think is phenomenal.
Never a great player got snubbed.
Like, I don't understand the logic behind it. Despite the season Jarvis is having, he's been very injury prone lately.
Well, he's had a good season, Jarvis, but that's a
phenomenal player. He's a very good player.
That's a great point, Adam. Like,
year.
I think it's a great question, Funfist. So thank you for the question. What I've said too in the past when we talk about these Olympic teams and different things like this, I think a lot of people underestimate how important the face-off situation is, especially in a short tournament. So if I'm building a team, hence why I put John Tavares on my team. I know John Tavares was not going to make it, but I wanted a winger that's very good at taking face-offs. Jarvis does not really take much face-offs, versus someone like Mark Scheifele, O'Connor Bedard. Even though Bedard's not the best at face-offs, he is the center in the NHL, so you could easily put him on the wing, and then if someone of your centers get knocked off, you have someone that takes face-offs consistently. And I think we really underestimate that stat building teams like this.
Well, the thing is, I think what you guys are forgetting a bit, though, is I know, Adam, you said you understand Jarvis is a phenomenal player. Jarvis does have 43
and I love
points,
him. I think he deserves goals, to be there.
18 assists. I'm not totally against him. I think this is the four-nation factor again. I think
he deserves to be there.
I disagree with both of you guys on who I would have brought instead. I would have been bringing Zach Hyman.
That's another one too.
Hyman's been hot recently. He's 23 goals since like December 30th or something like that. He's been on fire in 2026.
Find Zach Hyman hot.
Zach Hyman is a pretty good-looking guy, but that's not what I said exactly. But I do think
it's not my cup of tea.
I would say though, before we continue, is that I understand the thought process because I was listening to Sportsnet 590 The Fan this morning. Wow. I don't remember who was on when I was listening this morning, but it was very interesting point of who was going to be played with McDavid, and they said if Point can't go, and he would have been playing probably with McDavid when you think about it, because that's what happened at the Four Nations. Yeah. Jacob, I know you hated that line, so before you continue. Before you get mad at me and go all jubber jabber about that line, because Stone was on that line and you hate Mark Stone. But if I may continue before I get interrupted. Oh my gosh. Jeez Louise.
It's not true.
Okay. So
I'm not even
Zach
saying
Hyman
it.
was what? Kate.
It's not true.
Zach. I give up. But Zach,
Go
what
ahead.
they were talking about, who would be playing with McDavid? And
Hello?
They were talking about it potentially.
Testing.
Oh, hello.
Oh, there we go.
Your mic on, Lane.
Sorry.
What a failed attempt.
My bad. I didn't know it was off.
Lane interrupted.
Sorry, guys. I didn't know if I was trying to fix my mic. My apologies,
worries.
Adam.
So
Go
disappointing.
Go ahead, Adam.
So disappointing.
Sorry,
I'm
Adam.
gonna cry, Lane, after this. I'm gonna
You
cry
should.
after this. I'm gonna cry after this. Okay, so they were talking about Zach Hyman. If you needed somebody to come in to play with McDavid, the obvious decision would be to bring in Hyman. But
Right.
then if Hyman's coming in, who else plays with him? And they brought up Tom Wilson and Zach Hyman together with McDavid, which I think would be hilarious. I think that would be an awesome line. But I do think if you're going to put, I would bring Hyman if the decision was to play next to McDavid. I think that makes sense, especially on such short notice. But again, I still, in my own opinion, would have brought Bedard or Scheifele.
Bedard for sure for me.
I think I would have taken Hyman over Jarvis as well. I love Seth Jarvis. I think he deserves to be at the Olympics, but not over the three players we just named, in my opinion. I think he's had a phenomenal. He's been phenomenal.
Career stats. So like this is a great. This is
He's
a good
awesome.
player.
He's great.
Right?
He's
Like
an amazing
25
player.
goals this year, 18 assists, 43 points, good two-way player. Was on for the Four Nations team. He's had a pretty good career as well. He's a plus player. And you know what? Let's be honest too. He is a guy that you can probably have on your Team Canada for the next 10 plus years. So I'm not saying it's a bad pick. My only concern is I always bring this up about chemistry, and it's why I really harped on Zach Hyman. Now I could say the same thing. I think they were beyond crazy for not bringing Mark Scheifele. I think Mark Scheifele is a guy that he's everything that Team Canada wants. He's big, he's fast, he's physical, he can score, he'll block shots, he'll kill penalties, he'll take you out on a nice date to Red Lobster, he'll do whatever you want him to do. But Seth Jarvis, though, I think what people are forgetting, and I'm not saying you guys, but I'm saying things that I've read on social media.
He was great in the Four Nations.
I've read a lot of things that Seth Jarvis is ass. This guy wouldn't even make Team Germany or whatever. And it's like,
That's
hey,
not true.
Seth Jarvis is a very skilled player.
Oh, he
However,
is.
I think you could have brought someone a little better than Seth Jarvis, but we do know Cooper likes his players that he's familiar with, right? I think that's why Anthony Cirelli made the team originally.
I think Jarvis is
And Jarvis had a
underrated.
great Four Nations. He was fantastic.
Oh, he was. I think Jarvis is just a tad underrated because he plays for Carolina. Like if he plays like a big market team, everyone would love him. Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Yeah, Jarvis. I mean, he
Yeah.
is a great player. So
I
fun
just would
fish
have
for
taken
me.
him
I
over the
can't say the
players-
pick is gas or ass, just because I think it's a good pick. It's just not the pick that I would have made.
Yeah,
and Keith was
exactly.
saying
I
Jarvis
agree.
scares you a bit. Did he? I don't think he. No, I don't think he played for the Capitals.
No, plays for Carolina.
Who said Jarvis?
Yeah.
No.
No, I don't think he ever did
plays in
play for the
Carolina.
Capitals though.
No, I don't think so.
But do you
No,
guys think it's
for,
weird that Team Canada's not bringing? They're the only team apparently that's not bringing an extra forward because of injury.
Yeah,
Seth
I do
Jarvis
think it's
is
weird.
the extra forward that they're
No, I know,
bringing,
but like I mean,
so-
outside of that, like other teams are
they
bringing.
they have a 25-man roster with the extra goalie, and they can only dress, I think it's 18. They can only dress 20 players, 18 skaters. That's all they could dress. They could dress 12 forwards, 3 lines of defensemen, and then their 2 goalies. That's all they can dress. So everybody else that's on the team outside of the 4 lines of forwards and 3 defensemen, they're all extras anyways. They all count as that. They're actually extra. You have 5 extra players basically at the end of the day. Like it sucks. But I think with Point was the only question mark heading in. So there was no need to bring anybody extra, I guess you could say. I don't think they felt there was a need given all the other, like, given everybody else was basically known that they were going to be able to be played.
I know.
I guess was the reason they did it. That's just what I think. But
I just heard America's bringing extra players, and apparently, if Team Canada does suffer a substantial injury, They're just going to be like, well, we play with 8 forwards. We play with 8 forwards. Like apparently they're not called.
It's a tough situation. It's a tough situation for them, but
I'm sure they can fly.
You rock and
they said they won't do it.
Die by the sword, I guess.
Well, the
They
Leafs
still
also
find
said
extra
they were
guys.
never going to sell under the Austin Matthews era, and here we are.
They
So
probably still won't.
Yeah, you
Well, they
heard
still
the
got
comment
5.
that Austin Matthews put out
Apparently
today
they're still
saying
selling.
he's okay if they do sell.
Well, yeah, he should be. That would be ridiculous. How pathetic would that look if someone gave
Oh my
you
gosh.
10 years to win, gave you every chance under the sun to win, and then the 1 second when there's a little bit of trouble, you're like, see you, bro, I'm out of here. Like, imagine you worked at the best
It's
place
not
ever.
pathetic. It's exactly he told them before he signed his new extension. I've said this, I think, on here. I said this on here. When they signed his 4-year extension, so when he signed it, he said he would commit to playing here as long as we compete. That was his goal, was to compete. If we don't compete, he wants to go. That much is obvious. He said that.
Yeah.
I wonder if it will be the same in 2 years' time. At the end of this year, it'll be 2 years until he needs to
It's been the same
re-extend.
situation.
But
Yeah.
2 years ago, he said that he would re-up for 4 years to compete if this team will continue to compete, which is what Toronto told them they were going to do. And look at the situation we're in now. Not much contention going on for the playoffs. So that's the situation we're in. Austin
Hamilton
Matthews wants
Sports
to go.
Central.
He told us. He told the organization exactly what would happen if they weren't going to be if the team wasn't going to compete.
Yeah, but 1
it's not
year
being
is
a
not a big
baby.
deal.
But it's not being a baby. It's exactly what he wants his career to be. He doesn't want to be on a rebuilding team or retooling team. Like, it makes sense. Like, for a player of his capabilities, he wants to win a cup because he hasn't done it yet. Because he'll be clowned on it forever if he doesn't win a cup at some point.
Ovi had to sit through a bunch of rebuilds before he won his cup.
Well, Ovi is a different player than Matthews, clearly. Ovi was loyal to the soil, which is respectable. But if they did win the cup, it's the exact same. The conversation is very different about why Ovi stayed in Washington. It's all about that. Like, winning the cup. Winning the cup is what made Ovi staying makes sense. If they didn't win in 18, again, this is a completely different conversation we're having.
Yeah, maybe.
That would be a completely different conversation about
I'm just saying, he did sit through a lot of rebuilds, though, before they got to that point.
Right.
He sat through a lot of crap. Ovi did sit
the only
through
thing is, though, hockey, the NHL was a different world back then. You don't see players staying on one franchise anymore, right? Like, back in that era, more players stayed with maybe 1 or 2 franchises. Where the NHL now, we're seeing players like whoever thought we were going to see Brad Marchand not in a Bruins uniform.
Yeah, never.
Right? Never. And I would have been surprised.
And that's kind of my point. It's hard to compare the Matthews and the Ovechkin situation, besides them both failing for multiple years, because they're very different situations, right? Because it's the hockey world is Lane. The hockey world is very different than what it was.
Well, Jacob. Speaking
of the same reason why Bichette left. I don't know if Joe Carter would have left in the same situation back in the 90s, right? The world is just different. And I don't even blame players. There are so many players who put teams first. I can think of Ryan Smith as a prime example back in the day for the Edmonton Oilers, who wore his heart and sleeve out for the team, and then the team just dumped him just because. Yeah. So players got fed up and they said, we're going to do what's best for us instead. But I think I will say this, though. At least the Leafs were smart enough to go talk to Austin Matthews first. Because if he said, no, I want out, then you'd have to make a decision. If you're selling, including moving Austin Matthews, this retool becomes a rebuild. So at least Brad Treliving decided to pick up a phone and go, oh, hello, Austin. How are you today?
They could probably met in person for that one.
Oh, okay.
But actually,
hello, Austin. How you doing, bud? I don't know why I sound like I'm from the Midwest, but I do.
Speaking of contracts, I actually have a gas verse about that as well.
Oh.
I told you got some spicy takes today.
Lane has got so much gas, you would think he had Taco Bell.
I don't want to see this dog. How many times are we going to have to see
I'm just gonna hate you by then. But
yes, I am, Lane. I already do. I already hate you, Lane. So
Love
deal
it.
with it.
I love being like the NWO. What is it? The NWO with the Kevin Nash.
Nothing like the NWO. This is just annoying. The
Bam,
NWO was just
bam,
cool.
bam, 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 bam.
Go ahead, Lane. What you guys are asking, sir?
I think because of, and you guys might think I'm crazy. I actually think the NHL has a massive contract problem right now with all these players having
It's not
all
true.
all this special protection, and then it's not, and all these like, oh, I won't go here, I'll only go here. I'm only going to do this. I think we have a massive, because the NHL, like, you look at the NBA today, and like you could see James Harden get traded for a 7th-round draft pick. I was like, whoa! You see Steph Curry get traded tomorrow to the Raptors for a loaf of bread, and everybody like, what's going on? The NHL is like, oh, you see the Seattle Kraken? They wanted to get Panarin, give them 5 first-round draft picks. The Sun, they even apparently gave him a $64 million contract, but because it's in his contract, he gets to say no. He was like, no.
Yeah.
I don't think no one can have that. I just don't think every player under the star in the sun should have a no-move contract where it's like we're going to get to a point where trades can't even be made because like, well, I won't go play here and he's not going to go play there and I'm not going to go play there and he's not going to go play here. So it's like, what are we doing here? We're just playing. We're playing like with like we don't even know what we're playing with anymore.
I agree with you, gas 100%, Lane. I think
contracts should be shorter. I think we don't need 7-year contracts.
I mean, I just think, well, just
the 8 years and the 7 years now. I think you're going to only.
I think that's even that too long.
I think 6 is the longest.
I think that's too long.
I think it's just bad business that the trades are getting less and less. I mean, back in the day, trade deadline was the most exciting day, arguably the most exciting day in the hockey season. Now it's boring, right? Because you're not seeing the big names getting moved or the value of that for worth. So I say gas.com. I've got to fix this.
Rangers could have got so much for Panarin if he doesn't have a no. He's a 34-year-old player.
That's not why he got moved. That's not why they didn't get a lot for him, though. It's because
he declined.
He's a pending. I do think at the end of the day, it's because his contract was expiring. LA did though extend him. It's not because he had a no move clause. It's because the New York Rangers GM is just plain and simple language. He's an idiot. He doesn't know what he's doing. He made promises to the New York Rangers fan base that he obviously couldn't keep because he doesn't know how to do his own damn job. Like, he's incompetent. He's obviously an incompetent GM that doesn't know what the heck he's doing.
Why
did he it over the last 2 or 3 years?
So Adam, if he didn't have a no trade clause, why did you trade him to Seattle for the 5 first-round draft pick? Why does he care?
He's an idiot.
That doesn't make sense.
Because
he's an idiot.
Because Seattle wouldn't have. Well, he was going to walk anyway, so it wouldn't have really made a difference to. Well, New York, the only team. Yes, Panarin made it extremely kind of difficult, but. To be fair, I did see earlier, Elliot Friedman believes New York made the deal they made because they did not want this situation to go on any longer because of the reputation they gained for the Chris Kreider and the Jacob Trouba trades that they made 2 years ago. Because their GM, again, is an incompetent fool who screwed up Chris Kreider and Jacob Trouba's
shouldn't even have got rid of
trade
Chris Kreider.
situation.
He's an
They
idiot.
both screwed it up. He screwed those up, and he was put into a position where he had to take a lesser deal.
Who's shooting?
Because they couldn't let this drag on too long. It's exactly what happened here. He made 2 oopsies, and he was told by his bosses to get a move on and get this trade done no matter what. He made a bad deal, but he's an incompetent fool. It has nothing to do. I don't think they have a situation that. Even if they do have the situation, let's say they do have the situation, there's nothing they can do about it because the CBA has already been locked in. They have a CBA. There's no way in heck the players are giving up.
No, I know that. I just think it's an issue.
Yeah, they don't have a problem, though. There's no issue. I don't think the contract lengths are fine. I don't think it sucks with the no move clauses. No move.
I'm an idiot.
Can I continue with my point before I'm labeled an idiot here?
I think they're calling
Sam's an idiot.
He is an idiot.
Yeah, not you.
Okay, wait. Let me continue.
Adam, they're calling me an idiot. Don't worry.
No move clause.
I'm the millennial. I'm
supposed interrupting me. I can't do anything if you guys keep interrupting me. I can't get to my damn point. You guys are driving me up the wall with this. Why should I? You guys are just going to interrupt me again in 2 minutes.
I say a word.
Oh my! You just Just did it, Dan. You just did it, Dan. Mute yourself, Dan.
Adam.
Drive me up
Dan.
the wall. Lane, you should mute yourself. Driving me up
I'll
the
just
wall
leave it.
today.
Bye.
Okay, but no move clauses suck, but there's something that teams are going to just have to deal with because, like, the players aren't going to let them get rid of it anyways. So what difference does it make? But it's all about the fact that these GMs, you don't trade the guy. If you can't get his value, just don't trade the guy. He can't do it. Panarin could have just walked in like June, but you could have just dealt with that. He's old. He's 34. You didn't want him anyways. You could have just held him out and not played him at all and let his value dip any further than it can because he's not playing any hockey. He's going to be washed in a couple months. You just don't let the guy play. You like if they have term, then why trade them until they have good, decent value? That's the thing. Like, teams need to be smarter with the new rules. They just need to be smarter about the way they trade their players. If you have control because of the contract length, let them be unhappy. They don't get to dictate when they leave until their contract is done if they want to go. At the end of the day, that's a suckish way to go about things. But if there is an issue, then you got to either make a bad trade or you have to suck it up and assert some control that you apparently think they have or that they might have. Like, there's got to be, like, teams are just going to have to be more creative now than they were 20 years ago when things were a lot easier to trade players maybe. But they got to figure out different ways to go about things now. The NBA is the league that actually has, like, serious issues in terms of, like, player control. Players have way too much control in the NBA now. It's worse. If you think the NHL has issues, the NBA has so many more issues there in terms of, like, player control. It has been bad for a decade plus there. But that's my point.
We have some comments about this talk, though. No trade is an agent's creation. What other companies would sign a no trade for an employee? That's interesting. And absolutely, I mean, like, it is one of those things, Lane. I kind of get what you're saying to a point, but it's never going to change.
No, I know it won't. I know it won't.
I just think teams just need to stop being so stupid and giving every player who's ever touched the ice a no trade clause. Like,
yeah, exactly.
We have a partial no move. Like, that's my thing, right? GMs just need to be smarter. The CBA doesn't need to change. People just need to use their brains.
True.
And then we have another one here. What do you guys think about the Raptors picking? I got 40-year-old Chris Paul. From what I've read, Chris Paul probably won't even play.
He's going to get waived.
Why would he play with Toronto?
No. So the situation. So what happened was they picked him up because it's going to LA needed to dump his money and LA didn't want him anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And so the feeling was the Raptors were going to trade him by the deadline or they were going to waive him. He was never expected to play in Toronto. That's when the trade was made. The trade was made as a dump of salary for LA, and that was it. The Raptors were never technically had Chris Paul anyways. They were always going to release him. Yeah. There was nothing. Chris Paul was never expected to come here. That much is obvious. If you followed the NBA, you knew that was more than likely he was never going to come here. He was never going to play here. That wasn't what was expected of the deal. He's a phenomenal player. Now the question remains, will he actually step on an NBA court again? Because I'm pretty sure he said this year was his last year. I don't think he might not even step on an NBA court again this year, which kind of sucks for the guy. But that's what happens when you apparently have a crappy attitude with the crappiest organization in NBA history. But that's beyond the point. That's another conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it was more just for the Raptors. I don't know enough about basketball to really say why they made the move, but I don't think Chris Paul will play. But an interesting comment from Key. So let's jump backwards in time. Okay, Lane, the Leafs aren't actually dying. Oh, yeah, well, guess what? Look at my pretty face. I'm not even a car today. I'm a face. Okay, I don't know what's wrong with this season. I'm actually excited for NHL to break for the Olympics. It's sad that it's been my highest excited of NHL this season. That's an interesting take. How do you guys feel about that? Like, do you guys feel the NHL's felt dry this year?
Oh, 100%.
Or is it mildly moist?
Because do you think
what in terms of play? Like
Just
I wonder,
vibe.
like Key, what do you mean by it feeling like?
I think I know what.
What do you think has been wrong, Key? I should say. Like, what? Like, do you think it's just been the play's been bad? I will say trades, but like trades, big players never really get moved that often in the NHL, anyways. Like the big deals all happen in the offseason, anyways. Like you don't see big players get traded mid-season. That like rarely happens in hockey these days now. Like it doesn't happen as often as maybe it should. And I think a lot of people would like it to happen. But even in the NBA, like Giannis was expected to be moved yesterday. He wasn't traded yesterday. He'll be traded probably in the offseason.
Yeah.
But that was a big player everybody expected to eventually be traded ahead of the deadline. He wasn't moved. But again, the NBA is one where it happens, but it doesn't happen as often as I think a lot of people would like it to happen most of the time.
So Key's explaining.
Yeah.
I feel like when there's more teams doing awful than not, it just sucks. My brother can't stand basketball. Has seasons when there's only 4 or 5 great teams and the rest suck. Well, it really depends.
Yeah, that's so true.
The thing is, I would almost argue this year, though, it's tighter. Like you look in the East, teams that have probably aren't going to make the playoffs would be fighting for a division lead in the West. I think we're just seeing a shift, right? Like the West is weak this year, besides of those top 3 teams in Colorado, Minnesota, and Dallas. But
I've loved this hockey season. But
I will say, though, I almost wonder if it's because there's been so much hype around the Olympics that no one's even really talking about the hockey on the ice. Personally, I think this Olympic could end up being a total letdown. That's kind of my 2 cents.
I will say this NHL season, there's been a lot of parity in the NHL this year, I will say. Like outside of, let's talk about the East. So let's move to the East this time. Outside of the bottom 3 in the Metro, basically everybody still has a mathematical chance of making the playoffs. Nobody outside of the bottom 3 of the Metro, I think everybody mathematically can make the playoffs still at this point, which is, it's fun. It's great. I think there's a lot of parity. I think the West is in a weird situation where like Vegas are a lot worse than maybe on paper they should be. Goaltending has really let them down this season, which I think maybe you should have expected, people. But like the top 3, like the big 3, they were the big 3 last year. Everybody expected those 3 to be the 3-headed monster again this year. The Oilers have been weird, but I fully expect the Oilers to be exactly what they are this year, which is mediocre, which is what they should have been the last 3 years, to be perfectly honest. Perfectly fair opinion from me here. I will say that. Let's go, Lightning. Well, the Panthers held out Brad Marchand tonight.
That's right.
Which is crazy. But
I've been watching the scores on the.
I don't think things have been entirely awful this year. I think I can understand why people haven't enjoyed this season. I get it. This season maybe hasn't been as awesome, and some teams have been a real letdown this year.
Yeah.
But I will say, I love that. I love that Winnipeg hasn't been as good as they should be, because guess what? I like when Giants fall. This Winnipeg team should be a lot better than what they are, but guess what? This is their kick in the ass to get going next year and maybe make some moves in the offseason. You know, maybe some excitement will happen this time in the offseason, unlike this offseason, which was a complete and utter dud when we were told it was going to be probably the best offseason the NHL has had in years. I love that. Like, I've liked this season because, well, San Jose's been a lot better than I expected them to be. Chicago were a lot better before the Bedard injury than I expected them to be. I think that's awesome. I think 2 young teams coming up in hockey doing better than maybe they should be is awesome. I think that older teams starting to fall off a little bit. I hate Boston, but Boston doing all right again is cool. Montreal is doing a lot better as a very young team. The Islanders with Matthew Schaefer doing awesome. Love that for them. The Rangers sucking is awesome because, well, who likes New Yorkers?
New York.
Like the Panthers not doing amazing is fun. Ottawa sucking again is awesome because boo Ottawa. But like this year has been a real up and down year in terms of hockey. I think it's awesome. I like that the league is a little bit more. There's a lot more parity this year, and maybe some teams have flipped to what they should be. But I find that entertaining for myself, of course. I think this Olympics, I hope this Olympics will, I hope that this Olympics will be entertaining. Again, I don't think there'll be very many surprises this year because I think the top 4 teams in this tournament are the big 4 nations that you would expect outside of Russia. But again, I'm going to have fun with what I expect it to be. And yeah, that's just my opinion, of course. I'm
Hey, you know what?
fun
On this though,
this year.
I gotta piss Adam off because I have a gas or ass. Adam's mad. That's okay because it's gas or ass every single day. Gas or ass? The Olympics will feel like a letdown compared to the 4 nations last year.
Oh, ass. 100% ass.
I'm saying
100% ass.
I don't think we're going to see a fight in the opening face-off of Canada.
Yeah, I mean, gas is going to be a
Why
complete
would you think
letdown.
that?
It's gonna feel like a
The
letdown.
Olympics doesn't let fighting.
That's my point. I
It's
think
been a
people are
known
going to be
fact for a
expecting the
decade.
hatred that was in the 4 nations, and
It's going to be
the
physical,
world
but
is
there won't be any
again, we're
fighting.
not going to get into the politics, but the world has calmed down somewhat.
No.
And yes, it has. There's
Axe
we're not-
Minnesota, man.
and we're not booing each other's anthems in the sporting venues like they were this time last year.
By the way, if you want to see great, CNBC just dropped an incredible 1.5-hour documentary on that final game. I was watching it. It's
Wow.
so good.
That'd be
You know
cool.
what? After you're done watching this, then go watch it. But if you're watching this right
So
now, don't
good.
leave us for other content because we're better. But I just feel like people are expecting this to have the same level of hatred as the 4 nations did. And I'm just not. I
It's
don't
US
think
and Canada,
I think
will.
we're going to get some very good hockey, but I don't think we're going to get the same level of just hate.
I agree with Jacob on this. Gas.
means
Why?
more.
Because there's no fighting?
Yes.
No,
No
not even
fighting?
just no fighting. But I mean,
Yes.
let's be honest. Adam, were you or were you not out of your seat when there was a fight on the opening face-off?
No, not out of my seat. I was,
Well, you were one of the
cheering,
million.
but I wasn't out of my seat.
I was.
About it.
That was
I was
probably
like-
the best hockey game in
Can't
hockey
stay awake.
history.
No, do you want to know what my reaction to that was? I called every single Canadian player an idiot because exactly what I thought would happen in that game happened. I knew they were going to cause a fight because I knew
He's
I
an
knew
idiot.
No, can I continue? I knew Canada was going to lose that game. The minute those fights happened, I knew Canada was going to lose that game.
Who won gold vote?
But
It's not gold.
Dan, can I finish my point? The reason I thought Canada was going to lose right after the fights was like, that's exactly what the Tkachuk brothers wanted. The Tkachuks did exactly what they wanted, which was piss Canada off. They got Canada all riled up after the fights, and we lost. We fell flat after the McDavid goal. We lost the game where the U.S. beat us. They beat us fair and square. They did it, and guess what? We played right into their hands with the 3 fights. I knew that was going to happen, and I loved it because fighting is bloody awesome in hockey. I love it, but idiotic because you played exactly into their hands. We lost the game. We ended up beating them anyways for gold, but it was an idiot purely from like a hockey sense move for that game. It was purely idiotic. I would love to
It
see
was
that. It was
entertaining.
purely idiotic from the game.
Exactly.
But like
Entertaining.
trying to win the game, it was purely like they purely baited those players. They baited them and they fell exactly into the Tkachuk brothers. I respect the heck out of Matthew and Brady for doing that because they did exactly what they set out to do. And the Canadian players fell for it, hook, line, and sinker. And I'm glad there's no fighting because they can't do it again. And Canada can't be thrown off of their game off of it.
Well,
So that's my opinion on that.
I'm
Thought it was awesome, but thought it was idiotic. But that's just me.
I'm gassed with Jacob on this. I think it will be a letdown. And to answer Key's question from 10 minutes ago, I don't agree. What?
I just have nothing else to wear at the moment.
Yeah, I don't have any. I disagree. I think the NHL season has been really good. I know it's been disappointing as Leaf fans, but you watch the other games. Montreal has been incredible this year. Jacob and I watched the Battle of Alberta last night. That was a great game. Like, there's still a lot of high quality games in the NHL. So I'm kind of almost disappointed about the Olympics because I feel like the Olympics are not going to be good with the bad ice in Italy. No one's really talking about that. I think it is going to be a letdown versus the Four Nations. And do I just rather keep playing NHL hockey?
I say ass because I think these games are going to be awesome. I expect these games to be fun and physical. But if you're expecting fighting, you are picking the wrong event. If you expected fights, you're watching the wrong event. And I think it will be just as vicious, even without the fights. It's Canada, the United States. It's always going to be like that. I think this is Olympics is going to be awesome. Yeah. So I disagree.
I do find this comment interesting, though. I hate when players fight for a show. You're supposed to fight for the puck. Stop being a corporate boxing clown for money. That's an interesting take.
Guys has so many interesting takes that I usually disagree with, and I disagree with this one as well.
But what's your point, Lane? You have a chance to talk much here.
So I think it's actually ass because if you guys forget, we haven't had the Olympics in so long. And yeah, everyone thought, and you know what's funny? Everyone thought that Four Nations thing was going to be a total done until it wasn't, right? And I get the politics and the whole 51st state crap and all that, really that made that game bigger. And of course, no one's denying that the political differences between Canada and the States, the booing made it made that a bigger game. But at the end of the day, a gold medal speaks volumes more than some made-up trophy than the NHL. If it wasn't for all the politics that got involved, that tournament definitely could have sucked because no one really believed in it until it got exciting because we got to see best on best. Well, guess what? Now we're going to see a lot more countries. We're going to get to see France. We're going to see Germany. We're going to get to see USA. We're going to see Finland. We're going to see Sweden. We're seeing more countries battling it out, bringing their best players on a shorter ice, which is going to bring tighter physical hockey games. You guys forget this is going to be a smaller ice, so it's not going to be big and wide. There's going to be these
in one rink.
Yeah,
I don't know if in both rinks they have smaller ice, but I know in one rink they do. The main rink has smaller ice. I don't know about the other rink.
I think these games are going to be really tight and really you don't want to make a mistake because once you make one mistake, it's going to feel like the game is over because it's just going to be like a swarming kind of feeling of just oh no, we might not be able to get that back because we don't have that room to go on that crazy breakaway. There may not be that room. So we haven't had it in such a long time. I think that's why it feels underwhelming. But I swear once we get into those games, when we're getting up at 2:30 in the morning to watch Connor McDavid, beat the crap out of Team Sweden, I think we're going to be feeling pretty good about it. And I do
tournament.
And I do think a big reason why this year does feel weak compared to last year is because the Four Nations was so good. That was such important hockey. We had such a high coming out there. It was like, oh, now we got to go back to watching 82 games of this teams winning and losing. And now we're getting back to that hype, but it's going to take a while before we feel the hype again. I think once we get to the Olympics, feel that high again, oh, hockey's cool. Look at this. Ah! Then we're going to be like, oh, forget it. Hockey's the greatest sport again.
Wait, Lane, I have a question for you really quickly. And I want you to give your honest opinion to me. How far ahead do you think Italy is of us? How far do you think their time zone is ahead of us?
It's not true.
I saw games at 2:30 in the morning. That's all I know.
There is no, as far as I'm aware, there's no hockey games at 2:30 in the morning.
No, here.
I know there's games in the afternoon, not here. Maybe I would be surprised if anything's happening at 2:30 in the morning in Italy.
No, it said here you can.
No, what it means is it'll be 2:30 in the morning here.
That's what I mean.
No, that's what I'm saying. I didn't.
It is. They're already putting the game.
As far as I'm aware, there's no hockey games at 2:30 in the morning.
That's not what the schedule says.
I could have read it wrong.
That's not what the schedule songs. I see.
That's why I just
look at the schedule.
That's why I just said
subscribe to our channel.
I could have read it wrong.
2:30 in the morning.
I did not see anything at 2:30 in the morning, but I could be wrong. Yeah, that's 6:30 in the morning for the women's hockey. I know that for sure. I did not know there's any hockey games at 2:30 in the morning. I know the earliest an event that I saw started at was 4:30. But of course, I could again be wrong. And Lane, you could be very right, but I do not remember seeing anything starting 2:30.
But I want to
Finland,
move on to
maybe.
this comment.
Germany.
here.
Germany, I guess you could
Maybe
say,
it
but are
was
they really an underdog when
Yeah,
Germany
Germany's
are
underdog.
very like no? But Germany doesn't have no. But what? So what I'm saying is an underdog in terms of like, yeah, they are an underdog. Of course they are. They're not as their depth is like
Okay, maybe it wasn't
atrocious.
2:30 in the morning. It was 2:30.
They are top heavy.
My bad. It wasn't 2:30 in the morning.
So Lane,
My bad.
I want to hear it. Give it to me. Tell me I'm right. Give
Adam
it to
is
me,
right,
Lane.
and I'm an idiot. I should.
It's not true.
Yeah,
I'll quit. Bye. I leave.
It's not true.
I am
It's not true.
always right.
If I leave, I think
It's
we'll
not
lose
think
the
you're
true.
podcast.
lying.
Let Jacob for
I
me.
think you're
It's
lying.
true.
I think
For
you're
me,
lying.
it's true.
I think you're lying.
Wants me to
But-
quit the show. I'll just leave.
No,
But
it's not.
you know what though? For this underdog question, Dan, you've been quiet, which is very weird. So I want you to go first.
Well, thank you.
Oh,
The
you
underdog-
spotlight.
What?
Go.
I'm trying to. The underdog of the tournament. I think the underdog of the tournament. I usually say Finland, but without Bokov this year, it's going to be really hard. I think, as crazy as it sounds, a lot of people are not looking at Sweden very seriously. You know, I don't know why. Everyone keeps talking about Canada, America versus gold, blah, blah, blah. I think Sweden can surprise a lot of people and make that gold medal game.
I wouldn't call Sweden an underdog. That's why you got the boo. Not that Sweden couldn't do it. But, and I'm looking at an underdog. I'm looking at Latvia. And you guys are going to think I'm insane. But if they
I
can
already
get
do, Jacob. So
if they can get hot goaltending for the tournament, I could see Latvia pushing a lot further than people expect. Certainly not for a gold, but they're an underdog team that I'm keeping one eye on. This eye. Right here. The one that's really itchy today. And then for a team that an underdog that I think could actually win it, I'm actually thinking that Germany has a shot of winning this tournament. If their top guys can get hot and Grubauer can play some strong goaltending, I actually think Germany has a shot. Do I think they will win? No. Paulie Martz has US as the heavy favorite going into this tournament. And I can't say it's a bad take thinking that the States will win this, but no, those are mine. And Dan, I'm sorry, you're being called out as well by Funfish in the comments.
Well, I don't know.
Underdog.
I just think there's a very big skill level difference between Canada, Sweden, and America versus countries like Germany and France and Italy. And like, I almost feel like, no offense, but I'm like, let's just skip those games and let the best three battle it out.
This comment,
That's funny.
if you're always right, you go around in circles. There you go, Adam.
That's funny.
He's going around in circles, Adam.
He's like a
all
NASCAR
right with
car.
can I get my opinion now, or do I have to wait? Oh no,
Adam, go
You're
ahead, and
just
then Lane, I want you to
not
get
going to
yours.
answer me. Okay, thank you. Okay, well,
I answered.
Germany. So, oh my, so Germany, I would say, I think Germany will cause trouble. I don't want to be put onto the full screen here, Jacob. I don't like this. I don't like this at all. But Germany have a good chance of causing an upset. I would agree to. I don't think they're going to go anywhere deep, but they have a chance of causing an upset. But they're top. My only concern is that they're top heavy. They have a three-headed monster that's going to cause teams tons of issues. But yeah, that's going to be tough. Latvia always get good goaltending at these tournaments, as seen by what I always argue as one of the best Canadian teams ever in 2014 when Canada barely won 2-1 against Latvia. I think Finland are very heavily underrated, especially with the loss of Barkov. I think Finland could very easily win this tournament because they are a very good team. I think the loss of Barkov really just people just ignore them now because of the Barkov loss. But I think Slovakia low key could cause some issues. Slovakia are going to have a good team. I think out of the smaller nations, Germany probably has the best chance of like the smaller nations, like Germany are going to have a good chance of causing issues. I also disagree that USA should be a heavy favorite heading into this tournament. The US haven't won a gold medal in men's hockey. They haven't won a major tournament, mind you, outside of the World Juniors, any major men's tournament at all. Any major men's tournament since I think the Miracle on Ice in the 80s. They can't win at the highest level with the big boys. Now their women's team is a completely different conversation. Yeah. But on the men's side, if you think the US are heavy favorites, they have a really good team.
Betting odds are saying.
That's why I'm saying the betting odds, I wouldn't have personally.
I heard Team Canada was
heavy. They are favorites. You could say they're favorites, but I disagree with them being heavy favorites on the odds. That's where I'm France, that could be interesting.
What do you think, Lane?
I don't know.
I'm going
underdog.
Well, I'm going way up the board because I can't call Team Sweden, Team Finland, Germany. I can't really count them as underdogs because these countries are well known for the hockey. We watch even Four Nations. We watch all the big tournaments. Those teams are always involved. So I'm going to pick a team that's way off the board that literally no one is thinking of will probably win a game, but I'm going to give them a shout out. I'm going to pick Team Switzerland as my underdog. That team does have some NHL talent. They got Akira Schmid. They got Nino Niederreiter. They got Timo Meier. They got Roman Josi. They got some NHL players. No one's talking about them. No one's even thinking about them. So there's my.
I forgot about them.
They're my true team underdog because literally no one even thinks they're even in this tournament. So
literally none of us even thought of them.
I can't believe I didn't think of Switzerland because Switzerland are disgusting. Switzerland.
That's why Lane's got the giant cup of coffee so he stays awake.
Nico Hischier, he was so good.
Lane,
I'm so mad.
Be coffee.
I would never go to sleep.
I'm so mad right now that I did.
It's Akira Schmid. The team goalie is Akira. Well, I don't know if he's going to be starting, but I'm assuming he will be. It's Akira Schmid.
Who's their other goalies, you know?
I have it right here. It is Retro Berra. I actually remember that guy. He played in the NHL a while ago, a long ass time ago. Leonardo Gurney, never heard of that guy, but he won a 38-year-old from Simone won silver at the World Championships in 2024-25. Most valuable player where he was 5-0-2 with a 0.99 goals against average and .983 save percentage in 4 shots in 7 games. But I think their starting goal is going to be the Vegas Golden Knights, Akira Schmid.
Oh, wow.
He has not been good this year for Vegas.
No, but he can go on a hot run.
For Switzerland, he's 3-0 in his career with Switzerland as a goalie. He's 3-0-0 with a 0.76 goals against average and .974 save percentage.
Wow.
Yeah, he could get hot, but I'm just saying, I don't think I wouldn't be surprised if he starts.
Listen to his decor. It's actually pretty good, though.
Particularly great.
You got
not surprised by that.
His decor is actually not bad. You got 2 really good Roman Josi. You got JJ Moser. I love that. Jonas Siegenthaler.
JJ Moser is Swiss.
Yeah, and on your forward group, look, this forward group pretty good. You got Kevin Fiala. You got Nico Hischier. You got Philip Kurashev. You got Dennis Malgin, Timo Meier, Nino Niederreiter. You got Peace Sider. That's not a bad team at all.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
That's actually not a garbage.
Is Nico Hischier? Did you say Nico Hischier?
Yeah, Nico Hischier.
Okay, I didn't hear Nico Hischier. That's why I asked.
Niederreiter was the first Swiss to go in the first round or something like that, wasn't he? One of the first big. No, I think he went second round. He was one of the first big Switzerland names I remember.
So they're my true team underdog.
That's a great pick.
It's a great choice.
I was going to say Czechia, but I'm not really underdog.
Actually, Dan, Czechia is a great underdog.
This made a comeback.
Czechia is a great underdog pick. No one really thinks about them for some reason.
Didn't we see the score?
Czechia should never be considered an underdog.
I agree with that too.
No
I still
really
find that
puts
crazy.
them in that top 4 category.
I know, but they should. That's why I said they shouldn't be considered an underdog. Because they're one of the best hockey nations in the world now. It's still
I'm the best hockey nation.
But the Wizards being the Pistons is crazy. That is the. And to be fair, I still find it funny to laugh if the Washington Wizards beat the Pistons because the Pistons were ass for like a decade plus. They were so bad for so many. And the Wizards were actually good for a while there. So that is still like a funny reaction to laugh when the Pistons lose a basketball game. It's not It's not a reaction I'm used to. That's pretty funny. Not gonna lie.
Some interesting news in the CFL as well I wanted to get to. And
Ooh, we're doing basketball last. Ooh.
This one
Let's go.
Here's
Sushi.
Quentin McManus, and this is his big quote from his press conference today, believes he can help the Hamilton Tiger Cats get over the Grey Cup hump.
Yeah. Such a talented player. I wouldn't.
Yeah, and I hate to say it, but Quentin McManus, I think Hamilton's been lacking some leadership qualities, and I think
this is painful to see, though.
Quentin
he's a leader. Yeah, it is. I'm never getting over this.
Brings in the culture that I think Hamilton needs. Like, Lane, I really want your perspective because you were like, the Tie Cats aren't doing anything.
I was like, the Tie Cats are crying. All the fans are crying. Well, it was just frustrating because it was so like the first day I felt like the manager was like sleeping. I'm like, bro, wake up! You got half a team to sign. But I guess But when I saw this, I'm like, okay, maybe I should be patient.
He went for the big fish.
But you're still missing half a team. I mean, to say that they don't need to fix half, they still got to get an offensive line. They still got to get a running back. They still got to get a few receivers to play. They still got to get their players. What the man is going to help?
But Lane, who needs that when you have Bo Levi Mitchell? You know who
needs do you believe, Adam?
All you gotta do is
believe.
And remember, if Mitchell starts to slow down, they also did pick up Trey Ford.
All you got to do is believe in the Ford, the Trey Ford.
I would never believe in a Ford. I've heard so many,
right?
I've never driven a Ford, but I would never believe in a Ford.
Would you believe in Trey Fords?
I've heard horrendous stories about Ford vehicles.
Lane, would you believe in 3 Fords, though? Trey Fords? I'm making a joke. I'm trying to. It's a terrible joke.
Yeah.
Jesus, Jacob, that scared me.
That was terrifying. No, but I mean, I think it's exciting. Like, maybe I'm the most passionate, screaming, like, wake up! But, like, yeah, that is a big signing. I won't lie. It's exciting.
To retire in the chat.
Ooh.
I don't think he's going to be that great this year, to be honest.
Wow. Well, maybe that's why they got Trey Ford. I think, though, for Hamilton, the interesting thing is, and Dan and Adam, I'm sure you're feeling the same way I am. Tough to see McManus go.
I'm going to cry forever about this. This is going to make me cry.
He'll be back in a year or two.
I can't. It's
just see if he'll probably be back in a year.
And yeah, Key, I know Trey Ford was always I know you want him to be your guy at Edmonton, but I think Edmonton had to move on. They did sign Taylor Powell as the new backup for Cody Fajardo.
I think Edmonton's fine.
And yeah, Rasheem Bailey did retire from the CFO today. Thank you, Funfish, for throwing that in the chat. But back to this Quentin McManus quote. I'm kind of on Lane's side here. I do feel Quentin McManus brings a lot of culture and a lot to that locker room. However, your receiving core has been decimated. You haven't really picked anyone else up to fill. Whether you like Tim White or not, he was a 1,000-yard guy every year. So someone's got to bring in that 1,000 yards. Greg Bell rushed 1,000 yards. So, and mind you, there are players available, which we'll get to in a second, but I don't think Quentin McManus alone can turn Hamilton into a Grey Cup caliber team. Because I think because remember too, they had oh my gosh, Santos Knox as their it was either Santos Knox, Cat and Thomas, one or the other, as their linebacker last year in this position, who's a phenomenal player. Now Quentin McManus goes to another level, but the other big question is, and Lane, I'm saying this as an Argo fan, can Quentin McManus stay healthy? McManus has not stayed healthy the last 2 years, and you just made him one of the highest paid linebackers in the CFL. I like the move for Hamilton.
It is funny. We can get back into this conversation that me and Adam had for an hour. We do know that the medical staff team for the Ticats is a lot higher graded than the Argos.
No more about medical staffs. No more
I'm
about
just
medical
saying.
Staffs.
You look at the team
I'm done with
grades.
that
Team Hamilton had an A+
plus
in the medical staff. Argos had a D-. You can't argue that.
We had too long of a conversation about this. Yeah, the other day.
We'll see. Maybe
way too long of a conversation.
We'll find out this year if that really is a different thing. Like maybe with better medical care, he plays every game.
Well, and that will be interesting, I guess, right? If all of a sudden McManus does stay healthy the whole year, maybe this conversation comes back around. I'm just saying, if you're Hamilton, and I would love, Dan, for your perspective on this as well. Like, Dan, actually, I'm actually going to throw this to you. Do you think Wynton McManus makes Hamilton a Grey Cup contender?
Are you asking me or Lane?
I said Dan.
You already asked me.
Okay. I think it does make him a Grey Cup contender. I really do. I'm really upset they left Toronto. Oh, I guess I'm Wynton McManus now. Okay, cool. I'll take that. Okay, there we go. I think it's really cool that he got his big contract. I give him a lot of credit for it. 100,000 CFL is a lot of money. He got 100,000 more in Ticats, so I get it. I'm really disappointed that the Argos did not get this done. I think they could have moved some money around to grab another 100,000 somewhere.
Should have traded Chad Kelly. Just saying.
Well, yeah, guys, a whole have a conversation. Right, we're doing all of this for
you. Literally have Nick Arbuckle.
Right? Yeah,
I don't get it. I don't get it.
Exactly. We're doing this.
You could have flipped. See, here's the thing I don't get. You guys are so upset about this. Why didn't your manager flip a guy who hasn't played in here? You don't know how good he's going to be.
Right.
Can I answer this?
Yeah, one sec though. Before you do, Jake, I'm just saying. Before you answer, I'm just saying. You never know how good of a player is going to be coming back from injury. And yeah, we didn't know how good what's his name from the basketball player was going to be, or we didn't know Gabriel Landeskog was still going to be a point per player missing 3 seasons. That doesn't always make a difference. But I'm just saying you don't know how great. You know Chad Kelly is going to be the same Chad Kelly after missing an entire season. When you had a guy who was reliable, Nick Arbuckle, that team actually relied around him. You could have traded Chad Kelly, kept Wynton McManus, and probably gotten a few more pieces, and you could have really been a super team. But go ahead, Jake. I'm sorry.
Nobody wants Chad Kelly.
Someone could want him.
No. Tell me a team that needs a starting quarterback.
Wow.
No, there's not. BC has Nathan Rourke. Calgary has Vernon Adams Jr. Winnipeg, Zach Collaros. Edmonton, Cody Fajardo. Mahial, Davis Alexander. Ottawa, Drew Brown.
He's a mid.
Hamilton, Bo Levi Mitchell. No one wants Chad Kelly for the same
reason. Scratched up with the season.
He hasn't played in over a year, so you get nothing for him.
But maybe the money's enough.
Yeah, but remember though, if you cut him, you still have to pay a portion of his salary, right? So it's not like. And if Chad Kelly is healthy, Chad Kelly makes that team better. This is nothing against Nick Arbuckle. I think Nick Arbuckle is a phenomenal quarterback and human being, and I would love to take him out for muffins.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I look at Chad Kelly, and Chad Kelly is an NFL caliber quarterback if he could have stayed out of trouble. And I think the Argos want to take that chance, but it's also why they haven't moved on from Nick Arbuckle yet either. I wouldn't be totally shocked if they did try shopping Chad Kelly and everyone just said, nah, he's not worth the risk between the injury and the attitude.
So then get rid of Nick Arbuckle and keep.
But then, okay, you get rid of Nick Arbuckle. Chad Kelly comes out of the gate looking terrible. Now your whole season's
never do that.
Right?
You put McManus go at him. You would
never let go of my king. Never let go of my king, Nick Arbuckle.
I'm just saying
I'm more than okay to keep these quarterbacks and to let McManus walk. As much as I love Wynton McManus, he will be one of my favorite players ever. Like, even when he retires, he will go down as a guy that I remember as one of my favorites. But at the end of the day, your linebacking crew, you already have Judge and Pickett. You don't really need McManus there. And you took the money you would have paid McManus to bring in Amos and Priester. That really fixes your defensive back situation. And I get the Chad Kelly trade conversation, but no one wants him. And I'm not saying Chad Kelly can't go out there and play very good football. I think Chad Kelly still has the ability to be an MOP quarterback, but I don't know how many teams would be willing to take the risk. Between the salary, the injury, and no offense, the attitude, I don't know how many people are willing to take the
Well, that's
risk.
what I was going to say about the attitude. How much do you think that's going to mess with the team? Like this guy's so
Yeah.
like,
The team loves him though. Like the players seem to love the guy. I think he is a real team play. I think he is a real.
you hope. I would hope so.
Well, Key, at the end of the day, Calero's okay. I know he's part of the concussion protocol mafia. There's no way in hell Winnipeg would have taken Chad Kelly. Like, there's no way.
I will say with Chad Kelly, Mac Miller was the quarterback coach that calmed him down.
Mike
he did
Miller, not Mac Miller.
Sorry, who?
Mike Miller. Mac Miller, rest
No,
in peace, was a very talented rapper.
Yeah, that's all. I knew it wasn't Mike. Mike Miller, he did such a great job with Chad Kelly. Now he's well, I just couldn't win the whole thing again. I agree. And now he's going to, be the head coach of the Argo. So I'm really hoping Chad Kelly turns around and has a fantastic year. And I do kind of agree. If you got with Nick Arbuckle, you could afford McManus, but Nick Arbuckle was such a good guy too. I love Nick Arbuckle. I would have been okay having Nick Arbuckle as my starter again. I really would have. I really liked him.
But the problem is you can't move Kelly. You can't move Arbuckle in case Kelly's terrible. Your hands are kind of tied in this situation. I think Pinball made a good decision with what he's able to do now. Will this decision by week 7 in the league look terrible? Possibly. The decision may look fantastic. It's like the Brandon Carlo trade for the Leafs. At the time, everyone thought it was going to be great. It's aged like milk. So, interesting question here in the chat, though. Harris, the number 1 QB in the CFL, went healthy. It's between Harris, Rourke, and VA right now because again, we don't know what Kelly's going to be like coming from the injury.
I like Kelly could be number 1.
He could be, but I certainly wouldn't have him in that conversation going into the season. He's not even a top 50 player for me going into the season.
Well, yeah, that's a good comment. I think Harris, at the end of the day, he won, right? And, winning is a big factor. I think Nathan York is catching up to be the number 1 quarterback, as we all made fun of him in the past. He's done a really good job turning it around. Zach Claro, still Hall of Famer. Bo Levi Mitchell, Hall of Famer. I think VA is going to have a better year this year, but yeah, I think you could argue Harris is still the number 1 guy in the league for sure.
Adam does not like your take on Trevor Harris. He has ran away.
What do you think, Lane? Who's the number 1 quarterback?
What in Saskatchewan? Trevor Harris.
No, I mean CFL. It was question.
Like number 1 I told you, it's my boy. Bo Levi. No, what am I saying? It's Mr. Clipboard.
Yeah.
What is it?
Yeah, Funfish, I do agree, Rourke, if he had more of an opportunity.
I was supposed to say Bo Rourke. I'm like, who's Bo Rourke?
Yeah, I don't know. Boy,
I think Rourke could have potentially been a NFL quarterback if either A, he got better opportunities, or B, he didn't sign with teams that didn't need quarterbacks. I don't know why he did that. Yeah. But and then this is more on Zach Caleros. Yeah, the guy has had a lot of concussion issues, but I mean, and I understand it is controversial around the league. Concussions are a scary thing. I've had too many of them. But at the same time, if Caleros still feels he can play, you know how we've all said that Morgan Riley has earned the right to say when he's going to leave Toronto? Zach Caleros has earned the exact same right in Winnipeg. As long as he wants to be there, he will be your starter. And he will be your guy. And I get football. You know what? I don't think they have fully learned from the Tuca Tungaloga situation.
That's true. Yeah.
At the same time, I think Zach Caleros has done so much for that city that he deserves to go out when he wants to go out. And if he says, I'm good, I'm coming back, the team should respect it and keep him and keep him as your guy.
I just want to say something quickly. I didn't get a chance to say it earlier. But little tidbit, Saru, who's a great player in the Maoris, 16 goals this year already, Toronto Maoris, he is on Team France for the Olympics. And depending if the Leafs do sell or not, he could make his NHL debut this season. So watch out for him in the Olympics as underdog.
I'm watching.
But I know it's a little off topic. I just didn't get a chance to say it at the time. But yeah, I think
back again.
Hello.
Sorry, yeah, I disappeared.
Oh, good.
Now I'm back.
Mm.
Well, you guys didn't miss me?
You're lying.
Hurts my feelings.
No, we
Yeah,
missed
no,
you.
it
Of
hurts
course
my
we
feelings.
missed you.
Oh, okay, I'm glad.
Adam,
I'm glad.
It's not true.
Yes. Breaks my heart. Breaks my heart, Jacob. You broke my heart.
Don't go breaking my heart.
I'm never gonna get over.
5-0 Lightning.
I
Now.
just-
Wow.
Wow. Boy, talk about battle in Florida.
Who's starting in net? Who's starting in net? Funfish for the Lightning.
I did.
Why, Vasilevsky?
Did
I'm
you
just
know?
looking it up now.
Panarin
No, sorry, no. I
won't-
mean the Panthers, not the Lightning.
Yeah,
the
I've heard
Panthers.
Panarin's not. Is not.
Oh,
Play
it's the backup goalie for the Panthers.
Oh, okay. Well, that makes sense.
Because I hope Bobrovsky's been struggling a little bit this year. I've got Vasilevsky for the Lightning.
Makes sense. What's the point of playing Panarin right with one game before the international break? That makes no sense.
Yeah, that's the thing.
I get
right?
he's not playing over it, but it makes sense not to play him yet.
Oh,
Like,
for sure.
especially if you're going to the international break, what's the point? You know.
And by the way,
That's just
everyone,
my
we
opinion.
will. I think we'll move off CFL for now. We'll head into some NFL, but we will have a full CFL
What about the
breakdown
NBA?
show. What?
We're not going to talk about the NBA.
I just
Not gonna
said
talk
we're going to go
about
to the
the
NBA
trades?
next.
You
You
said
gotta
the
listen.
NFL, Jacob. You
Oh,
said
I'm
the
saying-
NFL.
I'm tired.
Gosh.
But anyways, we will be doing a show this weekend about everything that's been going on within the tampering window and breaking down every position of what's left. So
Oh, I'm going to do that tonight. Okay.
not tonight. I just want to go over a couple pieces tonight and a couple moves. Obviously, honestly, we can't. If we went over every move tonight and everything else we did, we'd be on for 5 hours. But now this is more the Adam and Lane show because Dan and I,
Oh,
do you know how much we know about you? Do you, if you would say to Dan and I, you guys are basketball experts, do you know what we'd say?
It's not true.
Nothing.
We're not.
Nothing.
When it comes to basketball, Dan and I
He's an idiot.
are idiots because we don't know much about the NBA. So Dan, Adam and Lane, what do you guys think of the James Harden? What do you guys think of the James Harden trade?
Oh, yay. I've been wanting to talk about this damn trade. There's two trades. Two trades I've been really. This is we talked about this on our last show as well, I think. But like now that we know the full trade, like it was Harden for Darius Garland and a second round pick. It's very interesting. Now, mind you, the Clippers heading into this were one of the hottest teams in basketball, chasing down the OKC Thunder for the top seed. They probably wouldn't have caught him anyway, so it really wouldn't have made much of a difference. But like, I don't know what to think because the Cavs are in such an interesting position because Donovan Mitchell's out this summer anyways. So they're going to end up losing Donovan Mitchell this summer, probably. And LA is they're the Clippers. They're the worst organization in sports. They just suck. They are just awful. They just do not know how to do anything properly. Like they've wasted Kawhi Leonard since they got him. They gave 1 million picks to the OKC Thunder
Just
for
in
Paul
Toronto.
George, which was an awful trade. But no, I disagree
Raptors
fully.
didn't do anything.
I would have loved to have Giannis, but he wouldn't.
Not for the price.
He wouldn't have worked for the team. And you would have had to pay him a hell of a lot of money in 2 years' time anyways. The price would have been, I said this last show, the only trade they should have made was for a center, which is exactly what they ended up doing today, late, but they did acquire a center. I'm so glad they didn't trade Anthony Davis because this is the other trade I wanted to talk about, the Anthony Davis trade, which was like the worst trade. Like Anthony Davis, mind you, has played 70 games 3 times in his career. 70 plus games 3 times in his career. He is never available. When he's available, he won a championship with LA. Available. He was available. He was the best player on the court. Yeah, he was the best player on the court that playoffs. So it's like when he's healthy, he is probably a top 10 forward in the league. He's that
for
good.
sure.
but he's not healthy. He's never available. Washington, he's probably going to play barely this season for them, if any games at all. Like Washington, at least they didn't give up good picks. Like the pick for OKC this year isn't great. That pick from the Golden State Warriors is top 20 protected anyway, so that's going to be a nothing pick. 3 seconds, that's nothing. Like it was just so bad. Dallas just don't know what they're doing. It's the same. It's the same mistake. This goes all the way back to the mistake they made last year when they traded Luka Doncic. They shouldn't have made that trade. Like it's wild. But like some other moves that were made today, because today was actually kind of busy. It's busier than I thought. But like yesterday, yesterday. Sorry, Dan, you say what you were going to say.
Oh, no problem. I don't know much about basketball. I was just going to say this NBA deadline's one of the most craziest NBA deadlines that I ever remember, because usually the NHL deadline is a lot busier than the NBA, and I don't think the NHL is going to be that busy this year with the salary cap going up and free agency and the Olympics and everything, but the NBA was like all over the place, so that was quite interesting. I'm not a basketball fan to say.
Yeah, it was crazy. Like OKC acquired Jared McCann from Philly. That's just because Shea is out until the All-Star break, through the All-Star break, which sucks for him. Get well soon, Shea. Of course, Toronto got Chris Paul, but who cares about that? Because Chris Paul is never going to play a game for the Raptors anyways.
No.
What other big moves were made? Kristaps Porzingis is now a Golden State Warrior.
Yeah, Golden State.
Given he was on, funny enough, he was on Boston last time. No, wait. He was on Boston when Boston won their.
I thought he was, yeah.
I want to say. I think he was. They traded Jonathan Kuminga, who has not been great this season. Him and Buddy Hield. Buddy Hield, that wasn't great. The Raptors, of course, acquired Trace Jackson Davis from the Warriors. He is a center. That is literally all they needed. Porzingis is a great player, again, when he's healthy. Kristaps Porzingis is a great player. But again, he's had issues with injuries in the past. But that's a great pickup. Not to get over it, that's a great pickup for the Warriors. I'm still surprised they didn't, because they were rumored to be moving off of Draymond Green, who is notorious for swinging down low with his leg. You get what I'm saying, guys?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah? Cool. Good. Nice. What else? Anything of importance, I guess.
What's this Garland move that Key's talking about, Adams? I have no clue.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. No, it's just saying that, with Garland, the Clippers might actually be decent. Again, the only reason they were winning games half the time was because of James Harden going nuclear. Because Kawhi, again, is never fully healthy.
He was in Toronto.
They're not going to be any better than what they are right now. They're probably going to actually be worse. The drop-off from Garland to James Harden is big. He's a good player, but I don't think either team actually got significantly better. I'm gonna say what one of my favorite players ever, Kobe Bryant, rest in peace, said. He said that no team is gonna win with the way James Harden plays basketball, which is he's very ball dominant, and he shoots the ball a lot. He hasn't done it as recently as he did in the past. But the Cavs aren't going to be great the rest of the year. I don't think, even with James Harden. I don't think the Clippers are going to get any better. The Clippers are just going to be the Clippers, which are what they are now, which is decent. They were hot, but again, they just traded their arguably their best player, despite the way Kawhi Leonard's been playing, who is an all-star this year. Good for him. But again, nothing really big happens.
Why?
I say Giannis wasn't moved, which I expected Giannis to be moved. I think he'll be moved in the offseason. I'd be surprised if he isn't moved in the offseason. But again, John Morant wasn't moved by Memphis, which is surprising because everybody thought, at least I thought, Memphis were going to a full rebuild, which meant they would have to have traded Ja. Again, if you guys didn't know, Ja was the guy who got caught with a gun in a nightclub in Memphis. Suspended like 20 plus games 2 years ago. He is not. He is not. How do I describe Ja Morant? He is a wannabe. He's a wannabe gangster, rich boy gangster is what Ja Morant is. Showing up to a damn. I think it was a strip club. Actually, I think it was a strip club. Actually, showed up with into a strip club with a gun. Mind you, it's illegal to do that in Memphis. So yeah,
It would be illegal to do that anywhere.
Yeah.
Well, he made a big mistake, and I'm still surprised he's on that team, to be perfectly honest with you.
Oh, 5-1.
But yeah, the NBA will be interesting. Like, I think the NBA, the big thing was that the big story this year is that OKC were like hot to start this year, and we're on track at one point to like not smash but beat the Warriors record for the most wins in NBA history, but they've fallen off a cliff since then. But still, they're comfortably the best team in basketball, I think. I don't think there's a team that's playing right now that when the Thunder are on, outside of maybe the Spurs, because the Spurs have beaten them every time they've played this season, that are honestly better than the OKC Thunder. But that's just how highly I think of Shea, to be honest.
Yeah, like you look at the Clippers, we're under 500 like now, even with Hardy and all that, right? So I don't see how they're going to be any like better, you know.
Well,
no, they won't. They're bad. Don't you mean W?
Yeah, they mean the WNBA.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
But again, that season's probably not going to happen. I still don't think it's going to happen.
What's going on?
They're supposed to play. They're still like their CBA negotiations are like. So I will say this because I do truly believe that the WNBA players should go out and get what they think they're worth. Truly and honestly, if they think they're worth what they're worth, hold out. But again, I will say this: they don't play this year. The WNBA is more than likely going to basically die.
I think
there's no way the WNBA. Like I will say this: so if nobody knows what the WNBA players are trying to get, is they are basically trying to get, I think it's 30% of the money before costs are taken out of all revenue that the WNBA receives. So the WNBA, if you didn't know their structure of how their league is, which is so incredibly dumb. So basically what the league structure is that the league owns, what is it? Like 30% of the actual league they own or something like that. They may own more. I don't remember exactly what it is, but it's split between them, the NBA, and outside investors. So when they take all the revenue that they make and then they basically cut it and they give whatever percentage it is to the NBA and all their investors. And then they take that money and they pay off all their expenses as well. And that's their generated revenue. So when you see they're only making $200 million a year, that's why. It's because they pay a lot of money to league expenses. So the WNBA players basically want 30% of that. They want it before the expenses. And so they want to take money. They're basically just going to be taking money away from the owners. Basically, that's what they're just going to screw over the league is basically, but they want to do that plus force the WNBA, not force, but like have the WNBA pay for more expenses like guaranteed charter flights and a bunch of other stuff. So they basically want to make league expenses higher and then take away 30%. Yeah, but make their profits lower. Basically, is what they're trying. Is what they want.
Not being awful. That
in a sense.
That math doesn't math.
So what the WNBA is offering though is 70% of the net revenue after expenses and all that is taken away. They're offering 70% of that money. Apparently, I think it was 70%. I could be wrong, but they're offering more, but it's less money that they're getting out, and that's what the WNBA players are stuck at. Is they want from a bigger pile, but a lesser percentage from a bigger pile. And the WNBA wants to offer a higher percentage, I think, from a smaller pile of money, basically, is what they're trying. That's what the debate is, if I'm not mistaken.
So the issue is, and I'm not trying to be a jerk, but the WNBA,
Jacob, you're telling the truth.
And I'm sorry to bring this back to CFL, but I remember the Canadian Football League, this was years ago, the players wanted revenue from the jerseys, because in the CFL, the players don't make any revenue off their jerseys being sold. I don't know if you guys knew that, but now you know. The issue is the CFL came back and said, but we're not making a profit as a league, so we need that money to stay running. The WNBA, I feel, is in a very similar situation. It's not like the WNBA is making billions of dollars. Like they basically, I'm not being difficult, but they're basically losing money. And that's not me saying it's a bad league. It's not me saying these are untalented athletes, but the math just doesn't math. I think the best thing the WNBA players can do is come up with a solution that gets them back on the court this year, because it's finally started building momentum. The Caitlin Clark beef with everyone else in the league has created a lot of momentum across the league. And I think this would be the worst possible time to have a lockout for the WNBA. And again, I'm not saying these players aren't worth the money. That is not what I am saying. But for example, I argue the skill gap between the NFL and the CFL is not as big as everyone thinks it is. But the pay gap is huge because, the CFL made barely, most teams lose money. And even with the revenue sharing, the league as a whole is not making a lot. So they can't pay, I don't know, Chad Kelly and Nathan Rourke comparable contracts to Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, and Patrick Mahomes, because the money's just not there. That's not to say the athletes aren't talented. It's just saying the money's not there. And that's how I feel about the WNBA. The league is very talented. There's a lot of extremely talented women in that league. But until the league starts earning more money, they can't really be paying the players much money. And they're still making more money than if they were being an accountant at H&R Block. So there's something there, right? And you're still at the end of the day being paid to play a sport. And I mean, it's not as bad as like when Puka Nacua complains he can't afford an apartment when his gross income's $490,000 a year. You can afford an apartment on that even in LA. But that's kind of my take on it. I think if these WNBA players need to be smart and be like, look, it's not like they're signing a 10-year CBA. Even say we'll take your deal, but only on a 3-year term. We want to see how the league grows in 3 years and then renegotiate. Like, don't sign a long term, but sign something to get you back on the court. Because you know what you are about to have, as Fun Fish pointed out, the team in Toronto in May is their debut versus.
And they're supposed to introduce a bunch of new teams at the end of the decade as well. They're supposed to continue to introduce a bunch of new teams.
And I actually
I do want to say though, like, I understand why they're holding out. I just you're putting the league in a situation where they can't make money this year if you guys don't play games. And I'm going to be frank because it's true. This is just a fact. A lot of the attention that the WNBA got this year is because of Caitlin Clark, and it's because of Paige Beckers, and it's because no matter you hate her or you like her, Angel Reese does bring attention. Why am I frank? I'm so confused by that.
You said
I don't even want to know.
I'm going to be frank.
Oh, yes. Okay, now I get it. Ha ha ha. But I do want to say, a lot of the older players are going to ruin it for a lot of the younger players, because they are the ones, I think, that are getting more stuck in on what the money is going to be like, because they're the ones that are going to benefit the most from the short term. They're going to benefit in the short term better than the younger players are. They're going to ruin things for them if they don't get their act. And did you guys, I didn't know tonight's the NFL honors. I didn't even know that.
Are they going to play dodgeball again?
No, it's just the award show. I didn't even know it was tonight.
Oh, yeah, I didn't know that either.
They haven't announced MVP yet, so who really cares at the end of the day? They haven't announced MVP. Do you guys want me to tell you who won the awards so far?
I know Myles Garrett won like the most outstanding player, I think, right?
Can I tell you guys? Are you guys going to let me? Huh? Let's go. Okay. Defensive player of the year, Myles Garrett. That's what he won. Offensive rookie of the year was Tataroa McMillan from the Panthers. Joe Thuney from the Chicago Bears. Jacob just doesn't want to give a high.
Nothing wrong.
Player of the year was Mr. Christian McCaffrey from the San Francisco. That was so loud in my ears. He does that on purpose. You do that on purpose. I swear it. Coach of the year was Mr. Mike Verbal, which makes sense. No, Funfish. I have too many new names. Stop giving me new names. I have too many of them. I'm already Steve at work. This is driving me up the wall now. Oh, no. I'm not going to answer to Frank, guys. I'm going to be honest with you. I won't do it.
It's not true.
I won't do it.
Come on, Frank. Read the rest.
It's true.
Yeah, Frank.
No, I was trying to find the rest of the list.
Let's go.
That's what I was trying to do.
Well, I do want to answer Funfist's question because it's a good question about the name Toronto Temples.
Not temples, tempo.
Temple.
It's just tempo. Yeah.
Oh, not temple.
That's what I just said. I just said tempo.
No, dancing temple. They aren't Adams. They aren't the Emperor's New Groove. They're the tempos.
Tempos. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what.
Tempos or just tempo?
I'm just picking on Dan.
Tempo.
I don't know what they sort of named them, but I'm not. It rolls off the tongue well. I get it, but what is a tempo?
It's speed. Like tempo. Like keep the tempo up.
You play with tempo. Like, yeah, you play with
a tempo. Good hustle. Got to get pucks in
deep.
That
makes sense, man. Okay. I know what it was.
Pucks in deep. Got to set the tone, boys. Got to set the tone, boys. Got to set the tone.
Basketball.
Yeah.
I think they should have been named
balls. No, can't say that. Oh, no, Adam, you can't say that. I was going to say something, but I can't say that. That's just.
You know what? They should have been named the Toronto Argos. So they wouldn't have needed to get New Jersey.
I do like the burgundy color. I think the color is pretty sweet. Have you seen the color of the uniforms and everything? I actually like them.
I don't care.
They look great.
I don't care enough.
But here's something interesting. And Lane, I'm looking directly at you, buddy. You were mad
guys, I have the Hall of Fame class.
I'm scared.
You were mad at Farhan Lalji just for saying he was a Seattle Mariners fan. So how do you feel about Tate McRae, a Canadian, being on the American ad for the Olympics?
Could care less.
Yeah,
I don't like that.
It's gross.
Boo.
Could care less.
I don't
like that.
To be honest, I could care less.
No, Adam, you weren't a part of the desk yet, but when Lane was mad at Farhan for being a Seattle Mariners fan during the Blue Jays run.
That's not what he did. That's not why I'm mad at him, but okay.
That was partially the reason.
No, there's a bigger reason.
But Lane,
never mind. We're not going to get into that.
How do you feel about this?
This is this is gross. It's gross. It's absolutely gross. I honestly think she should be kicked out of the Junos.
Whoa, it. Like that.
No more Junos for you.
True.
Go be your.
I like that.
No, I don't. You want to stab our country in the back? See you later.
I agree.
You guys are now. Okay. This is my honest reaction. The minute I saw this commercial, do you want my honest reaction about what I saw? I thought I swiped away from it. I was like, I could care less.
I think you're lying.
I could not care that she was in a stupid commercial in which she was paid to be there. She was paid to be there. She was paid to do this commercial. Honestly, I think you guys and literally everybody else.
I didn't even say anything.
Wait, damn it, Jacob. Let me finish. I think everybody else I've seen overreact to this are just being like, it's nothing. Who cares? Honestly, like, this is not something to get all up in a twist about. Is she a traitor for doing a damn commercial that she was paid to do? If you want to call her a traitor for that, sure. Go ahead. Congratulations.
The only thing I will say about
Good for
this
Tate McRae, I
is,
guess. Don't really care.
the only thing that kind of bugs me about it is it's not like an artist like Tate McRae really needs the money. Like, I understand that she was paid to do it, blah, blah, blah. And America did it just to get under Canada's skin. I'm not stupid. I'm kind of in between Adam and Lane and Dan, like a nice little Oreo cookie. I don't like it, but if I hear her music on the radio or if I saw her, had a flat tire, I'd still change her tire for her. Like, I don't hate her for it, but I also don't like it. It's kind of like Mitch Marner still being on the Sportsnet commercials. I don't love it, but I'm not going to not watch Sportsnet over it anymore. Does that make sense? I think it makes sense. Yes,
I
Jacob.
think they put Mitch Marner on the Sportsnet commercials to get we accidentally Toronto.
Oh no, they did it because the contract was signed well before he was traded and signed to Vegas. But you can't break contracts, Mr. Moore.
It's a commercial. It's not like
she's Dennis!
The United States in hockey. It's not like she said she's going to cheer for the States in hockey. She did a commercial, people.
Dennis!
Commercial.
Yeah, but she knew what the commercial's about. That's irrelevant.
I didn't watch it because I don't care. It's the
Yeah, I agree. It's a bit of Canada.
But maybe Canada didn't offer her a commercial spot.
Like,
this was
heavy overreaction, in my opinion. But you guys can get mad about something that literally means absolutely nothing, and it's just like it's a celebrity who's doing a commercial.
Cool. Don't come get.
If you care this much about what a celebrity. Who a celebrity is? Who a celebrity is?
Cool.
Who celebrity is cheering? Is doing a commercial for which country? Like, go and cry about it.
She's lucky she didn't do this when the whole 51st state. She
lives in the damn States anyways, so who cares? She barely spends time in Canada half the time. She lives in the United States, people. It's not like she lives in Canada anymore. I'm pretty sure she hasn't lived in Canada full time in like years anyways. So she's more into the States anyways at this point. So like, why do you care?
She hates Canada.
It's the same thing with like Ryan. It's the same thing with Ryan Reynolds. He's Canadian, but like he's lived in the States for the last like 20 years. Y'all can cry me a river about this. Jeez Louise.
Cry me.
You guys care way too much about this stuff. You guys care about this stuff.
You get over you.
Life is a lot easier when you don't care about this stuff.
If only life could taste as good as Swiss Chalet.
We're not sponsored by Swiss Chalet, but we could be.
Well, take one answer. That's my answer.
You know what, though, guys? We got about 5 minutes before we're going to wrap up for the night. So
Jacob's put a time limit on this.
I want to do some rapid fire questions. But before I do the rapid fire questions, got one comment here. I wonder if someone made a full middle finger of Nylander.
That's funny.
I would absolutely love. You know what? If someone makes a cardboard cutout of Willie Nylander flipping me off, I will buy it. But let's do some rapid fire exam questions. You guys remember the exam question from a watch party from a little bit ago. So I want to do some rapid fire exam questions. Okay. And no explanation, just answers. Okay. Do we understand?
Yes or no? Just yes
Just
or no?
give me an answer. Just give me an answer. Out of all the teams that are out of the playoffs in the NHL, who do you think will make the playoffs? Lane?
Oh, I need to look at this. Hold on, give me a minute.
Okay, Dan.
Tomatoes.
No, I need an answer.
I was the answer. Tomatoes.
Well, that's not a real answer.
Adam,
what's the question?
Man, you guys must have failed in high school a lot.
Of the teams I can think of that are out, I'm going to say the Leafs because I do think the Leafs are going to make the playoffs. So the Leafs are my answer.
I'm saying the Leafs.
There you go.
I think Los Angeles.
I'm going to go LA too.
I am going to go the San Jose
I didn't
Sharks.
have to look it up. So, haha.
The San Jose Sharks are going to make
I don't know it's out of the playoffs because it changes every day. So there you go.
Okay. Next question.
Leafs and Dennis.
Dennis is saying the Leafs. Thank you, Dennis.
Let's go, Dennis.
Will the Toronto Raptors, this is a yes or no, will the Toronto Raptors make it past the second round of the playoffs?
No.
No, they're too young, too inexperienced.
Onions.
That's not a yes or no answer, Dan.
Second round of playoffs, I'm going to say no at this point, but I say hopefully do.
I'm going to say yes. The Toronto Raptors will make it past the second
Whoa.
round of the playoffs.
Dennis is saying yes to that.
White Josh saying the Leafs to make the playoffs. Okay.
Interesting. Wow.
If the trade deadline started today, tell me one team that is under the most pressure to make the correct moves.
The Toronto Maple Leafs.
Toronto. Yeah, 100% Toronto.
Adam?
Make the correct moves?
Correct
Yeah,
moves.
it's Toronto. It's 100%. Not even a question.
Florida.
Yeah.
Florida.
Oh, that's a good
it's
one.
Florida. Defending Stanley Cup champions.
Yeah,
You guys are
that's a
biased.
good one.
The defending Stanley Cup champions.
They're allowed to have a
Colorado
fairness.
Avalanche.
Oh.
We're having
Got
Leafs
a few
in the
more
chat
Leafs
for
in the
this one,
comments.
but I'm saying the Colorado Avalanche.
We got Garlic in the comments too. I like
And
that
we have
answer.
Garlic. Okay.
Never mind.
The next goalie fight we see, should the goalie have to serve the penalty himself in the penalty box? Yes or no?
No.
No.
I say yes. I'll make things interesting. That's kind of
I
cool.
say yes. Make the backup goalie have to go in. Let's cause some chaos.
Yeah.
Here's another yes or no. Should the NHL change the draft lottery system?
Yes.
No.
Dan?
I'm going to say no.
I'm saying yes. Dennis is saying yes in the chat.
I like this.
Is the Battle of Alberta the most exciting rivalry in the NHL? Yes or no?
I hate to say it, but right now, sorry, I was supposed to give an answer. So I'm going to say no.
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay, now I agree with you. Oh, we got a rapid fire question in the chat. Should the CFL be like the NFL and go to 4 downs? No.
No.
That's
Never,
easy,
ever.
Colorado collapse. Hey, you know what? They've
Wow.
been in the playoffs the last couple of years. But let's part 2 of my earlier rapid fire question. What is the best battle in the NHL currently?
Florida.
Battle of Florida.
Yeah.
Easy. That's easy.
I'm going to say Toronto versus Montreal.
I'm going to have an off the board answer, even though I don't think it's right, but I think it will be one day. Rantanen, Dallas versus Colorado, the Battle of Mikko Rantanen. That's going to heat up. That's going to heat up. It's going to heat up.
We got the Tampa Bay in the chat here.
It was hot. Adam, it was hot in the first round. It was one of the most exciting first round matches.
Because it's the playoffs.
Okay.
It's always hot in the playoffs.
Okay, though.
Tampa and Florida's always hot. Always.
Will the Toronto Blue Jays make it to at least the 3rd round of the playoffs this season coming up?
No.
Yes.
Nope.
Yes. Adam?
Nope.
Rapid fire. Hurry up.
Yes, I guess. If it's rapid,
We're very positive besides of Lane.
Nope.
Okay.
Dennis is saying no. He's agreeing with Lane.
Dennis is saying no.
I have something to say after we do the quiz. I have something that I have to say after
it's the exam.
Question. And this is maybe a little more of a gas or ass, but I'm not going to play the bump. Team Canada will walk away with no medals at the Olympics in hockey. Men's
Ass.
Yes or no?
No.
No, they're going to win something.
I'm going to say yes. Canada is going to lose in the bronze medal game, and I will tell you why at a later date.
What?
I hope you guys enjoyed, though, the rapid fire. Pew, 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 pew. I got to make a bumper for it. But before we leave, Adam, you have a point you wanted to make, and then we're going to
Oh, no, it's not even a point. I just wanted to bring something up. I just wanted to talk about a different
that's a good question.
I love to talk about sports, so I'm going to bring up another sport.
I was going to say curling, too.
Damn, I'm just getting interrupted here. Just getting interrupted while I'm trying to talk about another sport. In another sport that started today, I wanted to talk about one of my favorite sports, and that was rugby. And I wanted to mention, and I wanted to point out that a tournament had started today in Europe, and it was a very surprising game. It was like a 20-point blowout win for it was France and Ireland, and France blew them up by like 20 points. It was crazy.
Wow.
Wasn't expected to happen. France and Ireland are both very good rugby teams, so crazy that happened. Just wanted to say that. Tournament started today. France are the defending champions, though. So I guess when you look at it that way, it kind of makes sense. But just
Vegas is up 4-0 in the first period versus LA. So maybe Lane and I are crazy.
UFC.
You are crazy, but
okay. We have one more rapid fire question here. Favorite sport outside of hockey in the Winter Olympics? That's why I yelled curling.
For me, it's curling too.
Dashing,
I
dang,
guess
dash.
wrestling. That's not really a sport, though.
it's not in winter.
Oh, winter has to be a
You
winter sport. I
failed.
don't have one.
Adam.
Oh, well, then you fail the question.
I don't really care.
Probably speed skating.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yes or no?
Snowboarding. I've been
Snowboarding?
picking up a lot in the Olympics.
You know, I still love the snowboarding video game I had.
That was
Adam, I
fun.
guess the right Canadian trash guy thinks Ireland must have been drinking.
Oh, they definitely weren't. They just suck this year. They are just awful. Apparently, they've just decided to be awful.
But I think it's time we wrap up the show for the evening. So I do want to thank everyone for joining us at the analyst desk. To give you a little bit of a heads up on what's coming up this weekend, we're going to be doing a live simulation of the Super Bowl game on Saturday. So make sure you're locked in for that. I will announce the time probably sometime tomorrow. So stay locked into the Island podcast, the Analyst Desk podcast social media. Okay?
Jacob, are you going to announce who's doing it as well?
No, we're all doing it.
We're all. I didn't even say I wanted to do it. I guess I'm just.
Well, maybe Adam doesn't want to do
it.
But
okay,
also,
now I'm just going to join it because you voluntold me just now. So
good. Also, we will also be doing this weekend a CFL what's been happening. And maybe we'll continue to do more of these rapid fire exams. Let me know if this is something you guys enjoyed, something I wanted to try today. But yeah, peace
I
out.
liked it.
A-Town
we talked
down.
about some scores in the hockey today, but oh well.
We talked a lot about hockey.
No, I mean the scores in the games today.
Okay, Dan.
Dan,
you
you're
like to read the
only one who
scores.
does this.
No,
it's
let's
the
see
only
if
thing he
Dan
gets
can
to do
do it.
without being interrupted.
At the same time, I play sound effects. Go ahead, Dan.
Oh,
Okay,
yes.
So right now, in first period, Vegas is beating the Kings 4-0. Hurricanes sent out the Rangers 2-0. Senators beat the Flyers in overtime 2-1. Penguins beat Buffalo 5-2. Capitals dummied up the Predators 4-2. Islanders beat the Devils 3-1.
It's not true.
And of course, the best game
It's
of the
not
night,
true.
Tampa beat it 6-1.
Subscribe to our
With all
channel.
kinds of crazy fights. So definitely watch the highlights. But I really just want to keep going. This is so much fun. The scoreboard in the NBA, 120 to 117 for the Spurs over the Mavericks. Only 4 minutes left. Suns up 31-29 against the Warriors. We're halfway through the game. 76ers are 29-23. We're halfway through the game. The Wizards beat the Pistons 126-117. Magic beat the Knicks 118-98. The Hawks beat the Jazz 121-119. That was a close game.
He's an
Our good old Raptors beat the Bills. A lot of people down in Union today. Raptors jerseys
Subscribe to our
123-107. And the Hornets beat the Rockets 109-99. And now I am done.
I think you're lying.
You know what, Dan? Dan, you actually deserve this.
Thank you. That was hard to hear those crazy sounds.
I was very surprised. I thought when I started this sound, you were gonna break.
I was close, but I kept it together. That could have been a fun blooper.
But thank you very much, everyone, for joining us at the desk today, and I'm glad you got to hear the scores in a very fun way. We will be back over the weekend.
Score, but that was not the point.
We'll be back with lots of content this weekend, so make sure you stay locked in. But of course, I'm the self-proclaimed sports analyst, Jacob Moore, joined by Lane Dashing Dashco, Mr. Moore for your money,
Woo!
and Frank.
Yeah, Frank.
He even responded to Frank. Until next time, always remember, at the analyst desk, every day feels like game day. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye now. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.